Okay na po, sir.
Today is February 27, 26, and we will be conducting the meeting conference for various notar ID members. First, we'd like to call the attendance. In attendance for today, on site, we have Engineer Robert Navarro, regular member, Engineer Lenny Cotton Jr., provisional member for all types. Attending via online, Engineer Jennifer Camias, provisional member for maintenance implemented projects. And also Engineer Jesusa M. Cabuso, provisional member for construction projects. Also, we have the back secretariat, Engineers Bertulaso, and the members of the back secretariat. Also, we have the various presenters for the project. Do we have someone from we have attendees online from World City Development Corporation.
Tsaka may ano po, sir. Si Darcy po.
World Sea Development Corporation.
And World City Development Corporation and
Parang siya na po.
good morning po. So we can now proceed. There will be no oral from back members. Who will be presenting first? That will be what contract ID number.
Ano ko na kayo?
298-324.
Nasaan?
Nandito mo.
Ito, 298.
We will now proceed. First is contract ID number 25. Please, 298.
Good morning, everyone. I am Engineer Rafael E. Alarcon from Maintenance Division. We will present to you the projects under the maintenance. For contract ID number 25D0298, Re-advertisement, for financial year 2025, Dpwh Infrastructure Program, Convergence and Special Program and Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, Evacuation Centers, Quarantine Facilities, Public Health Facilities, construction of multi-purpose building at the Quezon Provincial Hospital Network Quezon Medical Center, Quezon. Contract ID number 25D0324, FY 2025 Dpwh Infrastructure Program, Convergence and Special Support Program, construction, rehabilitation, improvement of facilities for persons with disabilities and elderlies, senior citizens, including gender-responsive facilities, multi-purpose gender center with gender-neutral comfort room, and breastfeeding area, Barangay Mayapa, Calamba City, Laguna. And contract ID number 25D0326 Clusters 1, FY 2025 Dpwh Infrastructure Program, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, Multi-Purpose Buildings, Facilities to support social services. Construction of multi-purpose facilities, Tagaytay Tourist Iconic Tower, Barangay Caybagal South, Tagaytay City, Cavite, Phase 13, and FY 2025 Dpwh Infrastructure Program, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, Multi-Purpose Buildings, Facilities to support social services, construction of multipurpose facilities, Tagaytay to Recycodic Tower, Barangay Caybagal South, Tagaytay City, Cavite, Phase 14. Now, for the items of work, Part A, Facilities for the Engineer. A.1.8 Sub 8, Provision of Field Office for the Engineer, rental basis per month, rental of an office space with a minimum floor area 48 square meters. 8.1.4 Sub 1, Provision of progress photographs per month, provision of one SLR camera, printing of 3R size progress photographs to record the exact progress of the contract works. Photos taken before, during, and after the work implementation to be submitted per month, duly signed by the contractor provided with albums. Common items on Part B, Other General Requirements. Part B for other general requirements, B.3 Sub 1, Permit and Clearances, lump sum for contracts ID 25D0298 and 25D0324. B.5, Project Billboard Signboard, each, installation of 2 pieces project billboard, one at the beginning and another at the end of the project. B.7 Sub 1, Occupational Safety and Health Program per month, provision for personal protective equipment such as a safety helmet, safety shoes, working gloves, dust masks, ice goggles, ear muffs, raincoats, and miscellaneous items such as medicine cabinet. The contractor shall provide qualified and experienced safety officer and first aider. B.9, Mobilization Demobilization, lump sum. B.20 Sub 1, Temporary Fence, lump sum for contracts D25D0298 and 25D0324. B.22 Sub 1, Support Equipment, lump sum for contract 25D0326. B.24 Sub 2, General Scaffolding, Ensuring, and Netting, rental for contract 25D0326. Now this is the Dpwh project billboard. Now for the minimum material testing equipment for medium contractors for contract ID numbers 25D0298 and 25D0326. These are the minimum major equipment requirements are the following. Now for the minimum material testing equipment for small contractors for contract ID number 25D0324. For small contractors, for contract ID number 25D0298 Re-advertisement, FY 2025 Dpwh Infrastructure Program, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, Evacuation Centers, Quarantine Facilities, Public Health Facilities, Construction of Multipurpose Building at the Quezon Provincial Hospital Network, Quezon Medical Center, Quezon. Architectural, Vicinity Map. Next is Location Map and Site Development Plan. Existing project location. Existing basement plan and existing ground floor plan. Second floor plan and third floor plan. Roof plan, rear elevation and front elevation. Left side elevation, right and right side elevation. cross-section, and longitudinal section. Second floor reflected ceiling plan. Third floor reflected ceiling plan. Next for the structural. Foundation plan. Foundation schedule. Ground floor framing plan and second floor framing plan. Third floor framing plan. Roof beam framing plan and roof framing plan. Truss 1, 2, 3, and 4. And trusses 5, 6, and 7. Next for is a plumbing. Sewer line layout for basement level and ground floor. Sewer line layout for second floor and third floor. Cold water line layout for second floor and third floor. Storm drain line layout for existing basement level and ground floor. Storm drain line layout for second floor and third floor. And storm drain line layout for roof plan. Now the isometric layout for sewer line and storm drain. Scope of work, structural. All concrete foundation works, all lean concrete, all concrete beams at all form or floors, all concrete columns at all floors, all slab on grade, second floor slab and third floor slab, metal structures, bolts, sagrod, steel, plates, purlins, trusses, and metal structure accessories, steel stairs for a fire exit, and stainless steel railings. Architectural, waterproofing cement, carpentry and joinery works, aluminum glass window, fixed and awning type, doors, aluminum frame, glass hollow steel, wood panel and glass panel, or roofing plans, all tiles, glazed tiles and trims, unglazed, glazed and textured unglazed. Cement floor finish plain, cement plaster finish, painting works, masonry, steel and wood, reflective insulation, interior and exterior walls. Plumbing, waterline works, pipes and fittings, PVC and PPRC, catch basin. Sewer line works, storm drainage and downspout, septic vault tank. Plumbing works, urinal, flush valve, water closet, shower head, shower valve, kitchen sink, lavatory, floor drain plates, bidet, faucet, and house bib and cistern. Now for the equipment requirements, the minimum major equipment requirements are the following. And the manpower requirements, the minimum work experience requirement for the key personnel are the following. Approved budget for the contract, 49,500,000. The source of fund is Financial Year 2025 GAA for Dpwh Inspras Program. Contract duration, 300 calendar days. Now these are the major category of works and similar categories of works. For contract ID number 25D324, Financial Year 2025 Dpwh Infrastructure Program, Convergence and Special Support Program, construction, rehabilitation, improvement of facilities for persons with disabilities and elderlies, senior citizen, including gender-responsive facilities, multi-purpose gender center with gender-neutral comfort room, and breastfeeding area. Barangay Mayapa, Calamba City, Laguna. Architectural. These are the location map and site development plan. Floor plan and roof plan. Reflected ceiling plan. Ground floor plan, second floor plan, and roof plan. Front elevation, rear elevation, left side elevation, and right side elevation. Ground floor reflected ceiling plan for ground floor and second floor. Structural. Foundation plan and framing plans. Rafter section elevation. Base plate connection. Framing plan. Steel stair elevation. For electrical. These are the site development plan for the location of the service entrance. Ground floor lighting layout and second floor lighting layout. Ground floor power layout and second floor power layout. Public toilet lighting layout. Riser diagram. Now for the plumbing. These are the site development plan for the plumbing plan. Cold water line layout and sewer and vent layout. Ground floor storm drain layout and roof storm drain layout. Water line isometric layout, sewer line, and storm drain layout. Storm drainage layout. Second floor and roof storm drain line layout. Storm drain isometric layout. Electronics and communication. Site development plan for the electronics and communication. Closed circuit television system schematic diagram. Closed circuit television system. Closed circuit television system for second floor and public toilet layout. Fire protection. Ground floor fire extinguisher layout. Second floor fire extinguishers layout. Mounting detail for DCP fire extinguisher and CO2 fire extinguisher. Mechanical. Ground floor air conditioning layout. Second floor air conditioning layout. Public toilet ventilation layout. Public toilet air conditioning layout. Scope of work, architectural, ceiling works, exterior finishes, finishing hardware, all doors and windows, built up and perform membrane, roofing and sheet and accessories, tile works, floor finishes, plastering works, painting works, masonry, concrete, and steel, all CHB masonry walls, 150 mm thickness, railings and site development plan, steel mating, and fence. Structural, all concrete foundation works, isolated footing, all concrete columns, all concrete beams, all slab on grade, and suspended slabs, roofing plan, trusses, purlins, and sagrods, steel stair and ramp. Electrical, fittings and accessories, raffins for switchboards, panel boxes, and conduits, wires and wiring devices, panel board with main and branch breakers, lighting fixtures, and grounding system. Now for the plumbing, construction of catch basin, septic tank, and cistern tank, plumbing fixtures, sewer line pipes and fittings, water line pipes and fittings, and storm drain line pipes and fittings. Electronic and communication, auxiliary system and CCTV system. For mechanical, air conditioning system and ventilating system. And for fire protection, fire extinguisher. These are the equipment requirements. And now for the manpower requirements. Approved budget for the contract, 9,650,000. The source of fund is financial year 2025 GAA for DPWH Infra Program. Contract duration, 180 calendar days. Now these are the major categories of works and similar categories of works. Now for contract ID 25D0326 clusters, 1. Financial year 2025 DPWH Infrastructure Program, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, Multipurpose Buildings, Facilities to Support Social Services. Construction of multipurpose facilities, Tagaytay Tourist Iconic Tower, Barangay Caybagal South, Tagaytay City, Cavite, Phase 13, and Financial Year 2025, DPWH Infrastructure Program, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, Multipurpose Building Facilities to Support Social Services. Construction of multipurpose facilities, Tagaytay Tourist Iconic Tower, Barangay Caybagal South, Tagaytay City, Cavite, Phase 14.
Excuse me lang, hindi pangulang kontra ka na. Pangulan. So, just a reminder po, tuloy-tuloy lang 20%, but the attendees po, especially online, if they have questions, they can propose or to submit 20 cents namin yung chat. Medyo nag-diretso yung pag-represent natin, may makatanong sila. So, tsaka parang makahinang ka din kasi parang dire-diretso ka rin professor eh. Pwede natin makita mo.
In chat po, sir.
Kung wala naman po,
Wala po, sir. Wala po.
we can proceed now. So, members po, may questions po ba?
May kasama ba kayo dyan? Fire protection.
Dun po sa project ng 25D0324 po, may fire protection po siya sa scope of works.
The rest.
Sa 298 and 326 po, wala pong fire protection. Now for the architectural for 25D0326, vicinity map and site development plan, basement floor plan, lower ground floor plan, upper ground floor plan, second floor plan, mall roof floor plan, roof plan, maintenance level, restaurant level 1, restaurant level 2, view deck closed, view deck open, machine room level, tank deck level. Now for the structural, elevation plus 65.3 framing plan and plus 70.5. Vertical steel pipes and showing outrigger trusses location elevation. Elevation key plan for Phase 14 scope of works. Elevation showing secondary vertical and horizontal steel pipes. Now for the electrical, lower ground lighting layout, upper ground lighting layout, second floor lighting layout, typical level TS1 to TS11 lighting layout, maintenance level lighting layout, restaurant level 1 lighting layout, restaurant level 2 lighting layout, view deck closed lighting layout, view deck open lighting layout, machine room lighting layout, lower ground emergency lighting layout, upper ground emergency lighting layout, second floor emergency lighting layout, typical level TS1 to TS11 emergency lighting layout, maintenance level emergency lighting layout, restaurant level 1 emergency lighting layout, restaurant level 2 emergency lighting layout, view deck closed emergency lighting layout, view deck open emergency lighting layout, machine room emergency lighting layout, lower ground power layout, upper ground power layout, second floor power layout, typical level TS1, TS4 to TS9 power layout, typical level TS2 and TS10 power layout, typical level TS3 power layout, typical level TS11 power layout, maintenance level power layout, restaurant level 1 power layout, and restaurant level 2 power layout, view deck closed power layout, view deck open power layout, machine room power layout, grounding layout, lower ground grounding layout, view deck open lighting arrestor locations, water tank lighting arrestor locations. For plumbing, cold water line layout, lower ground floor, cold water line layout for upper ground floor, second floor, mall roof, cold water layout for typical tower service levels, cold water line layout tower service 3, cold water line layout tower service 1, 2, 4 to 11, cold water line layout maintenance level, cold water line layout restaurant level 1, cold water line layout restaurant level 2, cold water line layout viewing deck closed, and closed water line layout view deck open, cold water line layout machine room level, cold water line layout tank deck. Now for the drain, waste, and vent layout, lower ground floor, for upper ground floor, for second floor, mall roof, typical tower service level, maintenance level, drain, waste, and vent layout for restaurant level 1, for restaurant level 2, viewing deck closed, viewing deck open, machine room level, and drain, waste, and vent layout for tank deck. Storm drain layout for lower ground floors, for upper ground floor, for second floor, for mall roof, and for typical tower service level, storm drain layout for tower service 3, for maintenance level, for restaurant level 1, for restaurant level 2, for view deck closed, for viewing deck open, storm drain layout for machine room level, tank deck. Now for the fire protection, lower ground fire protection, upper ground fire protection, second floor fire protection, mall roof fire protection, roof plan fire protection, typical level TS1 to TS11 fire protection, maintenance level fire protection, restaurant level 1 fire protection, restaurant level 2 fire protection, view deck closed fire protection, view deck open fire protection, machine room fire protection, tank deck level fire protection. Now for the scope of works, for phase 13, structural, slab on metal deck, shear wall, stairs for view deck open beams, slabs and stairs for tank deck. Architectural, outrigger truss, TS2 to TS3, horizontal steel pipes, TS3 to TS4, main vertical pipes, TS4 to TS5. Now for the phase 14, architectural main vertical steel pipes TS4 to TS5 and secondary vertical pipes TS4 to TS5. Plumbing rough-ins for TS6 to TS11, electrical conduit rough-ins for TS6 to TS11, mechanical AFSS rough-ins for TS6 to TS11, equipment requirements for the manpower requirements. Approved budget for the contract, 173,250,000. The source of fund is financial year 2025 GAA for Dpwh infrastructure program, contract duration 300 calendar days. Now these are the major category of works and similar categories of works. Now these are the projects for maintenance. Thank you.
Those are the contracts implemented investigations to receive food, construction projects, starting with one contract every hour, 206.
206, sir.
They may receive, so no other questions from BRGYs or on installation of online.
Ito ba yun?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Vivian Olga F. Reyes from Construction Division, and I will be presenting the technical components of the project implemented in this division. Starting with contract ID number 25D0206, Re-advertisement, construction of pedestrian overpass along MAHARLIKA Highway. kilometer 135 plus negative 100. 25D0295, re-advertisement, rehabilitation of bridge at Barangay CALUBCOB, NAIC Cavite. 25D0325, construction or rehabilitation or improvement of facilities for persons with disabilities, PWD, construction of ramps and railings, DPWH Regional Office 4A, Barangay Mayapa, Calamba City, Laguna. 25D0235, re-advertisement, construction of flood control structure at Malaking Tubig River, San Pablo City, Laguna, Phase 2. Next is contract ID number 25D0291, re-advertisement, construction of flood control and bank protection structures along Lukutang Malaking River, Rodriguez Rizal, Package 6. Next is contract ID number 25D0306, re-advertisement, construction of Dasmariñas City, San Pedro Muntinlupa Link Road, Package A, Cavite. For the items of work, facilities for the engineer, 8.1.8, provision of field office for the engineer, rental basis per month. For contract ID numbers 25D0206, 235, 291, 295, and 25D0306. 8.1.41, provision of progress photographs per month. Common items on Part B, other general requirements. B.51, project billboard or signboard each. B.71, occupational safety and health program, lump sum. B.81, traffic management month. For contract ID numbers 25D0295 and 25D0306. B.91, mobilization or demobilization lump sum. B.151, detour or access road lump sum. For contract ID number 25D0295. B.181, Craneway linear meter. For contract ID numbers 25D0235 and 25D0291. Showing you the DPWH standard project billboard layout. For the minimum material testing equipment for small contractors, for contract ID numbers 25D0206, 295, and 25D0325. Showing you the minimum major equipment requirements for small contractors. Minimum material testing equipment for medium contractors. For contract ID number 25D0235, 291, and 25D0306. Showing you the minimum major equipment requirements for medium contractors. Contract ID number 25D0206, re-advertisement. Construction of pedestrian overpass along Maharlika Highway, kilometer 135 plus negative 100. Showing you the key map, Calabar zone map, location map, and vicinity map. General plan, front elevation, and side elevation. Longitudinal section, cross section 1 and 2. Roof plan. Front elevation and side elevation. Stair detail, railing detail, floor framing plan, elevation 1 framing plan, and elevation 2 framing plan. Roof framing plan, stair roof framing elevation, and roof framing elevation. Member cross section, stair framing plan, foundation plan, and platform cross section. Column detail, for the scope of work, construction of pedestrian overpass includes earthworks for the removal of concrete and excavation or embankment of common soil, reinforced concrete pedestals, column, footings and slab, steel structures for trusses, beams, and railings, and other miscellaneous items such as electrical, elevator, and roofing works. Showing you the minimum major equipment requirements. For the manpower requirement, showing you the minimum work experience requirements for the key personnel. The approved budget for the contract is 16,405,000 pesos, and the source of fund is FY 2025 GAA for DPWH Infra Program. The contract duration is 165 calendar days. Showing you the major and similar categories of works. Next is contract ID number 25D0295, Re-advertisement, Rehabilitation of Bridge at Barangay CALUBCOB, NAIC, Cavite. Showing you the key map, Calabar zone map, location map, and vicinity map. General plan and elevation. General section. RCBC details. Wing wall details. Apron slab details, slab section, and wing wall type. Typical stone masonry section and whip hole detail. For the scope of work, the rehabilitation of a two-lane single-span bridge with a total length of 14 linear meters. Key components of the work include installation of reinforced concrete box culvert, repair of railing, craneway, approach slabs and approaches, the installation of reflectorized pavement markings, and the construction of drainage and slope protection for bridges. For the equipment requirements, showing you the minimum major equipment requirements. For the manpower requirement, showing you the minimum work experience requirements for the key personnel. The approved budget for the contract is 19,800,000 pesos, and the source of fund is FY 2025 GAA for DPWH Infra Program, and the contract duration is 120 calendar days. Showing you the major and similar categories of works. For contract ID number 25D0325, construction, rehabilitation, and improvement of facilities for persons with disabilities, PWD. Construction of ramps and railings, DPWH, Regional Office 4A, Barangay Mayapa, Calamba City, Laguna. Showing you the detailed site development plan. Proposed ramp detail, elevation, access logo, ramp elevation, for the scope of work, architectural, installation of ramps, ramp railings, railings for restroom, steel bollards, and tactile tiles. For the equipment requirements, showing you the minimum major equipment requirements. For the manpower requirements, showing you the minimum work experience requirements for the key personnel. The approved budget for the contract is 772,000 pesos, and the source of fund is FY 2025 JA for DPWH Infra Program. The contract duration is 60 calendar days. Showing you the major and similar categories of works. Next is contract ID number 25D0235, Re-advertisement. Construction of flood control structure at Malaking Tubig River, San Pablo City, Laguna, Phase 2. Showing you the key map, Calabar zone map, and vicinity map. The plan and profile. Typical section and retaining wall section. For the scope of work, the proposed structure involves the construction of a retaining wall with a stem height of 3 meters and a footing thickness of 0.4 meter, stabilized by 2 units of 0.3 meter diameter micropiles installed at 4 meter intervals. In addition, a concrete revetment with a thickness of 0.2 meter shall be provided for a bank protection, consisting of 2 berms with a total height of 8 meters, equivalent to 4 meter per berm, to stabilize the high and sloping soil bank. For the equipment requirement, showing you the minimum major equipment requirements. For the manpower requirement, showing you the minimum work experience requirements for the key personnel. The approved budget for the contract is 49,500,000 pesos. The source of fund is FY 2025 GA for DPWH Infra Program, and the contract duration is 210 calendar days. Showing you the major and similar categories of works. Next is contract ID number 25D0291, Re-advertisement. Construction of flood control and bank protection structures along Dukutang Malaki River, Rodriguez Rizal, Package 6. Showing you the key map, Calabar zone map, and vicinity map. Plan and profile. Typical section. Typical section with stiffener. Retaining wall details and sections. For the scope of work, construction of retaining wall with a stem height of 6 meters, footing thickness of 0.8 meter, and pile cap 0.7 by 0.7 meter with type 3 steel sheet pile. For the equipment requirements, showing you the minimum major equipment requirements. For the manpower requirements, showing you the minimum work experience requirements for the key personnel. The approved budget for the contract is 99 million pesos and the source of fund is FY 2025 GA for DPWH Info Program. And the contract duration is 240 calendar days. Showing you the major and similar categories of works. Next is contract ID number 25D0306, Re-advertisement. Construction of Dasmariñas City, San Pedro, Muntinlupa Link Road, Package A, Cavite. Showing you the key map and vicinity map. Layout map and straight line diagram. Typical roadway cross section. Pavement design standard. Design of bicycle facilities class 2. Standard road sign details. Details of reflectorized pavement markings. Traffic management plan. Details of person with disability access facilities. Details of person with disability access facilities. Plan and profile. For the scope of work, road concreting of 6 lanes carriageway using 0.28 PCCP, 0.15 meter thick Portland cement treated plant mix course, new soil aggregate, and 0.10 meter thick aggregate subbase, and proposed paving shoulder using 0.23 meter thick PCCP and 0.3 meter thick aggregate subbase course. Total length of project is 680 linear meters. For the equipment requirements, showing you the minimum major equipment requirements. For the manpower requirements, showing you the minimum work experience requirements for the key personnel. For the approved budget for the contract is 49,500,000 pesos, and the source of fund is FY 2025 GAA for DPWH Infra Program, and the contract duration is 165 calendar days. For the showing you the major and similar categories of works. That would be all for technical components. Thank you. Or technical components, sir?
Questions from the online attendees?
Okay.
You check yung chat,
Wala pa din po, sir.
Okay, then we can proceed with the presentation of
Legal and financial, sir.
legal and documents.
Tuloy. Ay, sino ba po? Sige, patingin mo.
Good morning, everyone. I am Lira Pangwan from the Construction Division. I will be discussing the legal and financial components of the project that will be handled by Construction and Maintenance Division. For the bid data sheet, or ITB class number 5.2, for this purpose, contracts similar to the project refer to contracts which have the same major categories of work, which shall be number 1. The following is the major category of works involved in the contract to be bid, as discussed previously. Number 2, the following are the similar categories of works that shall be considered in the evaluation of the work experience required with the contract to be bid, as discussed previously. For ITB clause number 7.1 is not applicable. ITB clause number 10.3, the required pickup license of this contract is as follows. For contract ID number 25T0298, license category B, license classification, medium A. For contract ID number 25T0324, license category C and D, license classification, small b. For contract ID number 25T0326, license category E, license classification, medium B. ITB clause number 10.4, the key personnel must meet the required minimum years of experience set below. Accredited safety officer required upon issuance of notice of award, subject to DO 98 series of 2014, submission of construction safety and health program, approved by the Department of Labor and Employment, DOLE, first aider with certificate of training issued by Red Cross in compliance to DOLE requirements for the approval of construction safety and health programs, required upon issuance of notice of award, subject to DO 98 series of 2014, submission of construction safety and health program approved by the Department of Labor and Employment, DOLE. The key personnel should meet the following number of years work experience. Number 1, the experience means total years of civil works experience of any nature in construction and engineering consultancy services. Number 2, include the tax identification number of the key personnel. Compliance to DO 98 series of 2016, revised guidelines on the accreditation of contractors, consultants, materials engineer. Number 3, include the contact number of the materials engineer. For ITB class number 10.5, the minimum major equipment requirements are the following. Please refer to DO 11 series of 2017 for the minimum materials testing equipment and DO 127 series of 2018. Strict application of RA 9184 in the conduct of post-qualification of bidders with delayed ongoing contracts with the Dpwh. For ITB clause number 15.1, the bid security shall be limited to bid securing declaration or one of the following forms in accordance with the following amounts. Number 1, the amount of not less than 2% of ABC if bid security is in cashier's and manager's check, bank draft, guarantee, or irrevocable letter of credit. Number 2, the amount of not less than 5% of ABC if bid security is in surety bond. ITB clause number 19.2 is not allowed. ITB clause number 20, no further instructions. ITB clause number 21, list additional contract documents relevant to the project that may be required by existing laws and or the procuring entity such as construction schedule and S-curve, manpower schedule, construction method, equipment utilization schedule, construction safety and health program approved by the Department of Labor and Employment, and President's Diagram Method or PDM. For ITB clause number 22, bid submission may be done manually or electronically online. However, bidders should only select one mode of submission, either manual or electronic. The address for receipt of bids submitted manually is at Bidding Room, Dpwh Region 4A, Canlubang Interchange, Barangay MAYAPA, City of Calamba, Laguna. And electronically should be submitted at electronicbids_R4A at dpwh.gov.ph. The deadline for receipt of bids is on March 11, 2026 at 10 a.m. For item clause, for bids to be submitted electronically online, the following procedures should be observed following DO 87-2020. For special conditions of contract, GCC clause number 2 is not applicable. GCC clause number 4.1, the procuring entity shall give possession at the site to the contractor upon the receipt of the notice to proceed. The start date should not be later than 7 calendar days from its issuance date of receipt at the notice to proceed. For GCC clause number 6, no site investigation reports. GCC clause number 7.2, in case of semi-permanent structures such as buildings of types 1, 2, and 3 as classified under the National Building Code of the Philippines, concrete, asphalt roads, concrete river control, drainage, irrigation, line canal, river landing, deep wells, rock causeway, pedestrian, overpass, and other similar semi-permanent structures. 5 years. In case of permanent structures, such as building of types 4 and 5 as classified under the National Building Code of the Philippines, and other structures made of steel, iron, or concrete which comply with relevant structural codes, DPWH standard specifications, such as, but not limited to, steel concrete bridges, flyovers, aircraft, movement areas, ports, dams, tunnels, filtration and treatment plants, sewerage system, power plants, transmission and communication towers, railway system, and other similar permanent structures, 15 years. For contract ID numbers 25T0298, 25T0324, and 25T0326. For GCC clause number 10, no day works are applicable to the contract. GCC clause number 11.1, the contractor shall submit the program of work scheduled to the procuring entity's representative within 10 calendar days from receipt of the notice of award. GCC clause number 11.2, the period between program of work update is 1 month or 30 days. The amount to be withheld for late submission of an updated program of work is 1% of every progress billing of the contractor. For GCC clause number 12, the funding source is the Department Memorandum Circular number 73 series of 2019, Executive Order number 81 series of 2019, adopting the cash-based budgeting system beginning fiscal year 2019, and for other purposes. The following are hereby directed. Letter A, all authorized appropriation shall be available for obligation and disbursement only until the end of each fiscal year. Letter B, obligations incurred by the national government within FY shall be implemented during the same fiscal year. Letter C. Payments of obligation incurred shall be made until the end of the extended payment period, which shall be 3 months after the end of the validity of appropriations against which they were obligated, unless another period has been determined by the Department of Budget and Management upon consultation with relevant agencies. Per GCC clause number 13, the amount of schedule of the advance payment is 15% of the contract amount in lump sum. Per GCC clause number 14, materials and equipment delivered on the site but not completely put in place shall not be included for payment. Per GCC clause number 15.1, the date by which as-built drawings are required is 30 days from completion of the project. Per GCC clause number 15.2, the amount to be withheld for failing to supply the as-built drawings by the date required is 10% of the final contract price. For bid security, bidders are allowed to choose any of the following forms: cash, cashier's check, manager's check issued by Universal or Commercial Bank, 2% of EDC, bank draft, guarantee, or irrevocable letter of credit issued by the Universal or Commercial Bank. If issued by a foreign bank, it shall be confirmed or authenticated by a Universal or Commercial Bank, 2% of ADC. Surety bond callable upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security, 5% of ADC. Bid securing declaration. For the submission of bids, bids and bid security shall be valid within 120 calendar days from the opening of bids. Showing you the amount of bank guarantee, irrevocable letter of credit, cash, cashier's check, manager's check, 2% of ABC for the contract ID numbers 25D00298, 25D0324, and 25D0326. For bid security, surety bond, 5% of ATC for the contract ID numbers 25D0298, 25D0324, and 25D0326. For the checklist of legal and technical requirements of the bid proposal, showing you the checklist of technical and financial documents. For the submission of bids, 2-envelope system, documentary requirements, duly signed, paginated with ear tags, and book bound. For technical and financial envelopes, envelopes 1 and 2. 1 original and 2 duplicate copies in 1 sealed envelope. Process documents on Thursday 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Friday 8 a.m. to 12 noon. For bidding dates, March 11, 2025 at 10 a.m. Showing you the cost of bidding documents for contract ID numbers 25D0298, 25D0324, and 25D0326. The net financial contracting capacity or NFCC of the bidder shall be used. The eligibility price. Respective bidder must have quality is IRR section 23.5 and is supposed to current assets minus current liabilities times 15 minus value of portions of all outstanding works under the bidder's ongoing contracts, including awarded contracts to be started, which portions coincide with the contract to be bid. Credit line commitment shall no longer be accepted per DPPB Resolution Number 20-2013 dated July 30, 2013, and Department Order Number 37, Series of 2014 dated March 26, 2014. In the NFCC, the fixed factor of 15 shall be used in the computation of NFCC regardless of the contract duration. As per DO 193 series of 2016, the procuring entity shall disqualify the contractor from participating in the bidding or award of contract for infrastructure projects if his firm incurred a delay in any of his ongoing contracts, government or private, which is considered attributable to him, pursuant to the provisions of IRR of RA 9184 in any of the following cases. Number 1, where the firm incurred a negative slippage of at least 15% of his ongoing contract in accordance with the Section 34.3.B.2 of Rule 10, post-qualification of RA 9184. Number 2, where the delay in the completion of work has exceeded the time duration equivalent to 10% of the specified contract time plus any approved time suspension. The same shall be subject for rescission in accordance with Section 8.4 of Annex E of RA 9184. Number 3, where the total liquidated damages has exceeded 10% of the total contract price. The same shall automatically taken over by the procuring entity or award to a qualified contractor through a negotiation in accordance with Section 8.5 of Annex E of RA 9184. Important notice, work experience in similar contracts. Prospective bidder must have done a single largest completed contract or SLCC similar to the contract to be procured, and its value at current prices it is at least 50% of the ABC to be bid. GPPB NPM number 150-2016. Number 1, a temporary PCOB certificate of license cannot substitute the requirements of submitting a valid PCOB license as part of eligibility requirements. GPPB Circular Series 6-2019. The BAC is conducting the public bidding for this contract pursuant to GPPB Circular Series 6-2019 dated July 17, 2019. And Appendix 31 of 2016 revised RRR of RA 9184 guidelines on the implementation of early procurement activities in relation to the provisions of the Republic Act 9184 and its implementing rules and regulation. The contract shall be awarded to the lowest calculated responsive bidder or LCRB who was determined such as during post-qualification. That concludes the legal and financial component overview from the Construction and Maintenance Division. Thank you for your time and attention.
Play po yung
Sige, proceed with the name of the question. Kasi project sa ano yun, nag-hire ng operating it's needed by fund na bababuli ka. Isang ganun na lang sila pumapapit na
Electronic submission and receipt of bids. This is for the efficient conduct of procurement activities during a state of calamity or implementation of community quarantine or similar restrictions, authorizing the submission and receipt of bids through electronic means or email. Our legal references for the submission of bids electronically are the Department Order Number 87, Series of 2020, GPPB Resolution Number 9, 2020, dated May 7, 2020, and the 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184. The prospective bidders shall prepare and submit their bids electronically following the steps prescribed under with DO 87/2020 in accordance with GPPB Resolution Number 9/2020 as follows. The Box Secretariat shall post the invitation to bid and bidding documents in the Dpwh and PhilJEP's websites and at any conspicuous place for 7 calendar days per Section 21 of the IRR of RA 9184. Upon posting of the invitation to bid and bidding documents, the Box Secretariat shall create the contract ID folder in the eBid portal. This is the Dpwh Electronic Bid Submission and Receipt portal. This is the contract ID folder created by the Box Secretariat in the eBid portal. The contractor shall purchase the bidding documents per Section 17.4 and Appendix 8 Guidelines on the Sale of Bidding Documents of the IRR of RA 9184. The applicable fee for the specific project is indicated in the invitation to bid. Prior to the deadline of submission of bids, the prospective bidders shall send an email with subject official receipt for contract ID to electronicbids_R4A@dpwh.gov.ph. Attached to the said email is the copy of the official receipt of purchase of bidding documents in portable document file PDF format with file name in the format PCAB ID underscore contract ID underscore official receipt.pdf. For example, the file name of the attached PDF containing the official receipt of the contractor with PCAB ID number 12345 who intends to participate in the bidding of contract ID number 21D00001 shall be 12345 underscore 21D00001 underscore official receipt.pdf. Further, the email subject would be official receipt for 21D00001. This is the confirmation of the electronically submitted official receipt. An email shall be received by a prospective bidder confirming its successful submission of the official receipt. Only the electronic bids of bidders who have successfully submitted an electronic official receipt shall be accepted. This is the folder of the OR received in the eBid portal. This is the OR submitted by the contractor received in the eBid portal. Upon submission of electronic proof of purchase of bidding documents or the OR, the contractor may now send its electronic bid with file name format PCAB ID underscore contract ID underscore bid.zip or .rar or .7z with email subject format bid submission for contract ID. Its bid must be in a password-protected archive format and shall contain 2 password-protected archive files, the technical and financial proposal. This is an acknowledgement receipt email that will be received by the contractor upon submission of its bid. This is the folder submitted in the eBid portal. Similar to manual submission, prospective bidders shall prepare their bids in 2 file folders. each for the technical and financial components. The file name of the technical and financial components folders should be in the format pickup ID underscore contract ID underscore technical and pickup ID underscore contract ID underscore financial. Subsequently, each of the technical and financial components file folders shall be compressed, password protected, and named in the format pickup ID underscore contract ID underscore technical.zip or .rar or .7z and pickup ID underscore contract ID underscore financial.zip or .rar or .7z respectively. Each file contained in the technical and financial components file folders shall be in PDF format, either scanned or exported, published, with file name in the format pickup ID underscore contract ID underscore descriptive file name.pdf. The compressed archive file folders of the technical and financial components shall be compiled in a password-protected compressed archive main file folder with file name in the format pickup underscore contract ID underscore bid. In case the total file size of the main archive file folder is more than the allowable size of an attachment per email of the prospective bidder's email service provider, they shall need to split its electronic bid into two or more password-protected compressed archive main file folders. The email submitting the prospective bidder's electronic bid should have a subject in the format bid submission for contract ID. In case of multiple compressed archive main file folders, it shall be submitted in multiple emails, each with subject in the format bid submission 1/2 for contract ID, bid submission 2/2 for contract ID. If a bidder wishes to modify its electronic bid, he may do so following the procedures in the manual submission of bid, or he may choose to submit his modification electronically in the same format prescribed in the preparation and submission of an electronic bid, except that the subject of the email submitting the bid modification shall be labeled Bid Modification X for contract ID, where X represents the number of bid modifications submitted. For example, the subject of an email submitting a first bid modification for contract ID number 21D00001 should be bid modification 1 for 21D00001. This is the same in the prescribed format in the preparation and submission of electronic bid, except that the bid modification main archive file folder shall be labeled as pickup ID underscore contract ID underscore bid modification underscore x.zip or .rar or .7z. In case a prospective bidder that have purchased a bidding document decided not to participate, he may choose to submit his letter of non-participation manually or electronically. In case of electronic submission, the contractor shall send an email with the subject non-participation for contract ID with the letter of non-participation as attachment with file name pickup ID underscore contract ID underscore non-participation.pdf. This email should be sent to electronicbids underscore R4A at dpwh.gov.ph before the deadline for bid submission. Bids may only be withdrawn prior the deadline for bid submission. In case of withdrawal of an electronic bid, the bidder shall send an email with the subject bid withdrawal for contract ID and the letter of bid withdrawal in PDF format with file name pickup ID underscore contract ID underscore bid withdrawal.pdf shall be attached. This email should be sent to electronic bids underscore R4A at dpwh.gov.ph before the deadline for bid submission. The box secretariat shall close the contract ID folder in eBid portal on the deadline of submission and receipt of bids. This is the closed contract ID folder in the eBid portal. The box secretariat shall download the bids from the eBid portal to the local computer. Only during the actual opening of bids shall the bidder disclose the passwords for his electronic bid. This can be done by the bidder's authorized representative verbally in person, through phone call, online platforms, or through writing. In all cases, the bidders will have only 3 attempts or 15 minutes, whichever comes first, to provide the correct password. Otherwise, the bidder shall be disqualified except in unforeseen justifiable circumstances. The bidder may also be subjected to the 3-strike policy as warranted by the circumstances. If the bidder chooses to disclose the password through phone call, he should make sure that the contact numbers as recorded in the Civil Works application are open when the bank calls to ask for the password. The bidder may also choose to call the bank number during the bid opening time and wait for the opening of his bid for him to disclose the password. For online call, video calls, the bidder may call the bank messenger account. If the bidder chooses to attend the bid opening through online conference, the bidder should join the meeting using the given link. If the bidder chooses to disclose the passwords through writing, the letters for password 1, main file folder, technical component file folder, and password 2, financial component file folder, should be enclosed in separate envelopes with the sender details such as AMO, bidder name, and address. Address to the bank chairperson with the details of the bidding such as contract ID, contract name, bid opening date and time. Signed and sealed with a remark, password 1 or 2. Do not open before actual bid opening date and time. All electronic bids, password-protected compressed archive main file folders shall be opened first for the opening of the technical component compressed archive file folders. This shall be followed by the opening of the bids submitted manually for the opening of the technical component envelopes. The same procedures apply for the financial component compressed archive file folders and financial component envelopes. The box secretariat shall open the financial proposal archive file. Notes and reminders for the contractors in the preparation and submission of bids. Only bidders with system-accepted proof of payment shall be allowed to submit their electronic bids, which shall not be beyond the deadline specified for the submission of bids. An email shall also be received by a prospective bidder in instances where their sent email related to the submission of electronic OR of purchase of the bidding documents if it has incorrect subject contract ID, which means that a corresponding folder with the same contract ID does not exist in the eBid portal. If it has no attachment, if it has an attachment but is not in the prescribed format, if it has more than one attachment, or if it was received after the deadline of bid submission. For the foregoing cases, the prospective bidders should rectify or correct the noted deficiencies to comply with the requirements for its electronic bid to be accepted. The bidders must submit their electronic bid using the registered email address in the Civil Works application. In case prospective bidders are not yet registered in the CWA, they can use any email address subject to the verification of the BAC Secretariat. For joint venture, the format of PCAB ID to be used by the bidder in naming their files, folders, and archives shall be JV-PCAB ID of the lead member. If a bidder chooses to submit an electronic bid, the same bidder can no longer submit a bid manually for the same contract and vice versa. Bid modification can be submitted electronically or manually, regardless of the manner by which the original bid was submitted. If a bidder submitted modifications both electronically and manually for a specific contract, the submission with the latest official date and time of receipt shall prevail. The submitted official receipt of purchase of bidding documents shall include the correct and complete names of the contractors who will submit their bids. Notes and reminders for the receipt of bids. An auto-reply email shall be sent to acknowledge receipt of electronic bids in instances where an email is sent with incorrect subject contract ID, which means that a corresponding folder with the same contract ID does not exist in the eBid portal. Without any attachment, with attachment that is not in the prescribed format, with more than one attachment, or submitted after the deadline. An auto-reply email shall also be sent regarding withdrawal of bid, non-participation, and if the bidder has yet to submit proof of purchase of bidding documents or the official receipt. Emails with more than one attachment with invalid subject contract ID and unrecognized transactions shall be automatically moved to the unidentified documents subfolder in the procuring entity's main folder in the eBid portal. This is the unidentified documents folder in the eBid portal. The following shall not be accepted by the eBid portal. Submission of bid without initially submitting the proof of purchase of bidding documents or the official receipt. Submission of bid after the deadline, and submission of proof of purchase of bidding documents after the deadline. Notes and reminders for the opening of bids. For a hybrid system of submission where electronic and manual bids were received for a particular contract, electronic bids must be opened first before the manual bids. If a bidder committed typographical errors in the submission of electronic bid or attached files in the wrong format, the bid shall be accepted, provided that the bidder or its duly authorized representative shall acknowledge such condition of the bid as submitted. The BAC shall assume no responsibility for the misplacement of the contents of the improperly sealed or marked bid or improperly compressed or password-protected folder or for its premature opening. If an electronic bid or file was found to be damaged and could not be extracted or opened, the bid shall be considered failed. Notes and reminders for non-participation and bid withdrawal. In case of non-participation and withdrawal of bids, the BAC Secretariat shall check the letters of non-participation, bid withdrawal received in the dedicated email address and is stored in the eBid portal, and shall observe the provisions under Section 26.2 of the IRR of RA 9184 and DO 17 Series of 2015.
Okay, thank you very much. That will be it for our for today. Thank you.